Hello everyone and welcome back to Make Your Mind. That's very unsettling ambiance. Okay, let us begin, shall we? This is the third part of my Shin Godzilla sculptures. And for this one, we're going to be talking about, of course, the third form, Shingawa-Kun. And there it is. This is the third form of Shin Godzilla, known as Shingawa-Kun. As you can see, he's starting to look like the Godzilla that we all know and love, but still has that same Kamata-kun sort of look. So as you can see, its legs are more pronounced, with claws now facing downward instead of upward. The arms have sprouted secondary joints with fingers, but are still very short. And its head, as you can see, the gills have closed up, and it has this massive maw with those giant eyes. But there's the scene when it actually transforms and stands upright, and it does this the first time that Godzilla ever roars. And believe it or not, it's actually the exact same roar that the original Godzilla used in the first 1950s film. So that's a little bit of trivia for you, but Shingawa-Kun is named as such because the Shingawa district is where this creature both transformed into this form and then also rampaged. And with it, it has that look we all know and love as Godzilla. So as you can see, the tail has gotten a lot longer. The spikes are still there, but there's these little areas in between that are glowing. Now, in the movie, there's a scene where Shingawa-Kun is actually walking, and it gets confronted by a bunch of attack helicopters, and then the attack helicopters have to stand off because of civilians that are still in the area, and all of a sudden, the back part starts to glow this bright red. Shingawa-Kun kind of turns around, and then does another loud roar, and then runs as quickly as it can to get back to the ocean. Now, why did it do that? Think of it this way. What is used to cool a nuclear reactor? I mean, that's a serious question. Most nuclear reactors, actually every single nuclear reactor in the entire world is cooled by one thing and one thing only: water. And with Godzilla, Shin Godzilla especially, having a biological nuclear reactor, it had yet been able to actually adapt and make its own cooling system in order to actually keep itself cool when outside of the water on dry land. And that's one of the many mutations and adaptations that Shin Godzilla grows throughout the course of the movie and also with its life cycle. Oh man, this ambiance is actually, it's called a disaster ambiance. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. It's so unsettling. But it befits this character, because this creature is very unsettling. Look at that face. It's that face of just bewilderment and also extreme pain. And it has this massive mouth that nearly opens 90 degrees. And as it's roaring in the air, it's just mutating and changing and also overheating. It's one of the reasons why Shingawa-Kun had to run back into the ocean so quickly and sort of evolve unpestered by the Japanese government and also by Japan itself. But another thing that Shingawa-Kun does is it starts to change this. It starts to darken in color, because you have Kamata-kun, which sort of started out with this almost tan, in a way, and then eventually starts to change to this almost sickly, almost inflamed red. And it's just, wow, it's so crazy to see, and it's so crazy to see in the film when it actually starts to expand and mutate and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and slowly transform into the form that we know today as Shin Godzilla. And, man, I love the way I did with this tail. I have a little wire actually inside the tail here just to kind of help hold it up. And as you can see, the end of the tail is already starting to mutate and turn into its own form, which we will see when I finish the fourth form. And don't you worry, guys. That fourth form is on its way. So I'll be working on that. And soon enough, Shin Godzilla will be complete, and I'll do a full compilation video showing off all of the sculptures that I've done of Shin Godzilla. But here's a quick little compilation. So I have Nakanosu-kun, my depiction of the first form. Then we have Kamata-kun, the second form, and Shingawa-kun, the third form. God, but as you can see, these creatures, they're just... The one thing about this version of Godzilla is just the way that it mutates and just sort of... I don't know, it's just so very... It's so very... Once again, like I've said in other videos, they put the monster back in Monster Movie. This creature is literally like in pain and mutating and writhing and sort of confused as to where it is or what's going on. All it knows is that it's very hot, it's very painful, and it's growing at a size where not even Godzilla itself knows really what's about to happen next. But we will know what's about to happen next when the final form shows up and I talk more about Shin Godzilla's abilities and also the future going forward with Shin Godzilla. And with that, that includes the video about Shingawa-Kun. If you like videos like this and want to see more of these in the future, don't forget to click like down below and remember to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss the next video. Like I said, I've got the fourth form coming. So once that's done, that video will post, and it will be soon enough, don't worry. God, I just love the way that looks. It's just so cool, the idea of the fact that Godzilla has that biological nuclear reactor and it sort of overheats, and you see that scene where it kind of starts to glow, and then it knows that if it stays out in the open air, it'll explode, essentially causing a meltdown within its own body. That's so fascinating. It's so fascinating to me the way that is. But with that, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see all of you on the next Shin Godzilla Sculpture Showcase.